I was doing some pattern recognition, and I can tell you how reality works now. And I don't have it down to the nitty gritty. This is a simplified explanation. Thoughts create chemistry in your body through hormones. Those make you feel emotions. Your emotions affect your electromagnetic signature that comes from your heart space. This creates an electromagnetic torus field around your body. This is the vehicle by which you experience reality. That electromagnetic field expands and contracts based on your emotion, which emits their own frequency that's measurable. So it expands and contracts. The electromagnetic field, when it expands, it's getting data from that frequency. And then it turns around and it tells DNA, your DNA, what to write and what to create. See, everything that's physical is non-physical too. So if DNA is writing your physical body, it is also creating your non-physical body, which is reality, part of your consciousness, because it's everywhere, everything all at once. So that's just really exciting, because DNA is literally getting information from your electromagnetic field, which is getting information from your frequency, and it's telling your DNA, go into the quantum field where all your experiences live and everything's happening everywhere all at once. And Daddy Joe over here is feeling like shit today. He's feeling real bad about himself. Maybe he did something, took some action, didn't like what he did. So he's feeling a lot of shame and guilt. Well, that tells your electromagnetic field to contract, because that's where the lower frequencies are. So that frequency then determines your thoughts, which determine your chemistry and hormones, which determines your feelings and emotions, and then it goes back into your electromagnetic field. The electromagnetic field tells your DNA to go into the quantum, and it's like a library. Everything's there. Everything's there. It's like ingredients in a kitchen, recipe books all over the place, and your DNA is like, okay, well, Daddy Joe today is feeling shitty, so we're gonna go to the shitty aisle, and he's feeling shame and guilt, so we're gonna pull information from the shame column and the guilt column. Okay, let's see. Daddy Joe believes that this, and this is true about himself, and that he's going to shame and guilt himself for this, and this. Okay, well, we're going to take what Daddy Joe believes here in these ingredients, which are already set, because that's what he believes about himself, and we're going to come back and we're going to give that information to plasma, which is the fourth state of matter. Plasma interacts with atoms. Atoms create molecules. Molecules create elements, and elements form matter, which then you experience, which then affects your nervous system, which affects your thoughts, which affects your hormones, which affect your emotions, which affects your electromagnetic field. Sorry, I had to reset my camera because it was falling over. So your electromagnetic field then sends the information to your DNA, and it goes into that frequency. So it sends that frequency, sends the information to your thoughts, and your thoughts create hormones, and your hormones create emotions, and your emotions, and it starts all over again on that side. And then on the other side, your electromagnetic field is talking to DNA, which goes into the quantum field where all your possibilities could ever exist, because your reality, you're creating everything from the quantum field, and you are everything everywhere all at once, including beings, including times, dimensions. And so it creates this huge unified field where everything lives, and that's where your DNA goes and gets the transcription for the reality that it's going to create. It just goes out there, and then it comes back in, it pops in and out, it comes back in, gives the information to plasma. Plasma then communicates with atoms that make molecules that make elements, which makes matter. And that's the matter is the reality that you see, down to the blade of grass, down to the subatomic particle. And it reflects that to you, because we see less than 1% of 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. So everything's happening where you can't see it. And so you only see less than 1%. And that is created by your DNA that communicates to plasma, that communicates to atoms, that atoms communicate to molecules. Molecules then form elements, and elements form reality. And then that reality then turns around and causes you to have an experience that your nervous system scans for, sends the information back to your brain, and your brain gets that frequency coming in of thoughts, and it still might be part of your electromagnetic system. They're still figuring that out, but thoughts create hormones. Hormones create emotion, which goes into your electromagnetic field, which expands or contracts based on your emotional state, which is measurable. That's how your physical reality is made. So the way that you stop it, because everything is subconscious programming. So you've got good programming on this side, and you've got negative programming on this side, or positive programming on this side and negative programming. So depending on your emotional state, it's going to go get these positive experiences or your negative experiences. And the way to stop that is through your emotions. You feel it, and then you move back up, because you're always expanding and contracting in your torus field. But you decide in that moment when your brain sends the chemistry to your body and you start feeling it in your body, feel it and don't do anything else. Focus on the space where you're feeling that emotion. And that pause, when you don't react, changes your equation. Because until now, if you reacted, it was based on programming, and you were being held hostage by your nervous system in creating reality. So if you don't want that, you stop it where you feel emotions, and you stop to feel the emotions. You don't fight it, you don't react, you just sit there with it. It's a wave. It'll come and it'll go. And then you tell your nervous system at that point, there's no danger, I can handle this situation, and your nervous system adapts. That changes your reality immediately. Because your equation changes, your variables are changing. And this is just a math-based world, math-based universe, and your brain is a quantum computer. So your X, Y, and Z variables are your transverse plane, which comes from your X and Y chromosomes. You are the Z coming through the middle, and you are creating reality with your electromagnetism. And it comes from everything that I just described. So if you want to stop it, you stop it where the emotion starts. You feel it. You choose differently in a calm way. And when you choose differently in a calm way, what you're doing is allowing your nervous system to adapt in that time period. When you calm it down and you bring it back from the trigger and the reacting, you are able to see the entire spectrum of what you could choose in your possibilities. And your emotional state changes, your frequency goes up, and then the possibility that the DNA goes to get from the quantum field changes, because you just changed your equation. You just changed your entire mathematical equation that was in the quantum, and then DNA brought back a different equation, a different set of data to give to plasma, for it to give to your atoms, to create molecules, to create elements, to create matter. You just gave it a separate equation because you chose differently, you saw the pattern. So the way to win at the game of life is to always breathe and stop. Calm your nervous system down, because it changes your frequency. And it changes your electromagnetic field. And your electromagnetic field then gives the data to DNA to go and get your reality experience and bring it back. And that's what it writes. That's the data it goes and gets. But it's based on your frequency. So when you stop, when you calm down, breathe into your belly, breathe out slow, sends information to your brain, telling your brain everything's okay, then your nervous system adapts. And then your nervous system says, okay, we can calm down. That changes your frequency. And then DNA goes, okay, instead of going to the shitty section or the angry section, now Dr. Joe's calmed down, and we're going to go to, okay, well, this is the neutral section, or whatever. And then brings back a different experience. So That's a lot. I'm going to have the simulation rules 101, which is just this basic stuff that I'm talking about right now, and then talking about the torus field. And you can see how all this is connected. It's just like a slinky or a spring that is connected at the ends, making a field, a torus field around it. And that's your body, and that's the way that the experience goes. And then you're experiencing reality in your torus field. That's it. Nowhere else. You are collapsing everything down to what you watch on television. Yeah. Pretty wild stuff. But you create everything. And the way to change what you're creating is to understand you are creating it.